Okay, I'm going to start the lesson soon. Let's see. Okay, now what is our objective today is to learn the new this topic called the linear functions and graph. All right. How many of your school have already started linear functions and graph? No, not yet. Many of them has not. Okay. All right. Okay. Anyone has, you do let me know so I can actually, you know, tag on you for some responses. If no, it's okay because we are learning as a class together. All right. Okay. Last week or so, when we learned algebra, we came across words like called linear function. Now, what is the word linear here mean to you? It comes from the root word. The root word line. So this line must be a straight line graph. Okay. So in this chapter, we are now focusing more on graph, plotting the points, okay, on the graph paper. So usually we use graph paper to indicate the points, draw graph, all right? And then with the linear function, we are able to find the value. And this value, we call them variables, all right? Finding the coordinates, yeah, from here we can find the coordinates because they are variables of the point and on the straight line. And then we are going to do new thing today is about gradient and y-intercepts of the straight line. Something here that I want to go through is to talk about the coordinates, how to read the scale, how to look at equation, what is origin, what is gradient, and how to find the variables of x and y. Okay, in this topic, okay, we have for example, we have this is a very generic formula, a generic one. Generic means what? We always base on this to understand the straight line graph. All right. So let's take a look at this x and y. This x and this y, we call them variables. Okay, because they are actually the points that is along the curve. All right. What does m stands for? Okay, there's a function for that. For the m, we call them gradient of the graph. Okay, that is what we are talking about for this gradient. Now, since I'm already at gradient, the gradient will tell you the steepness of the graph, the steepness of the line. Okay, you can have very steep slope, we can have a gentle slope. So the M will actually tell you what does the graph say about this equation. That means this linear function. Okay, the last thing here, you can see what is the thing here called C. We call them the y-intercept. Okay, and this y-intercept is constant value here. That's why you didn't see any variable of x, neither you see variable of y. Okay, so this is just the feature, the characteristics of a linear function. Okay, so how to read the coordinates also is something that we need to learn. Okay, this is pretty straightforward because it reads from the graph. Okay, now we call them axes. Here is x-axis, y-axis. In plural form, we call them axes. Okay, indices, axis is one, many axes. So for this is x, y-axis, x-axis. Right? So now, what do you mean by the word origin? Origin comes to the letter O. So this is called origin. And this origin, we have a 0, 0. That means as per this, what is the coordinate here? 0, 0. Okay, so this is called the origin. Now, if I have, how are you going to read the coordinates. Okay, I give you a very simplified one, all right? Okay, now, if I have this axis here, it must be equally divided into parts, whereby you label them as values. When this x-axis, you have a coordinate origin here, or anything here, we call them positive. Okay, here all will be negative. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4. The other way, -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay, y-axis the same. +1, 2, 3. -1, 2, -1, -2, and -3. How are we going to read this coordinate? Will be starting from, okay, for example, I give you this example here. Okay, this is point A. How are we going to read the coordinates of this point A? We always draw dotted line, okay, towards the x-axis. Draw dotted line across until it touches the y-axis. And you have put the bracket here, close bracket, comma, with 2 space, and this consists of the reading from the x-axis and y-axis. Okay, so for A, you can take a look. Where does it touches on the x-axis? 4. So this is x value. So usually this is the value for x. Okay, I don't need to write because here is like, okay, I'm going to write here 4. Then y is at 3 here, right? So 4, 3. So the value of x is 3, y is 3. So I'm going to put it as this and put my A here. Okay, now what happens if you have something like the other one here? For example, I give you here, somewhere here. Okay, maybe I call this point B. So for point B itself, I will also have x, y, right? So I'm going to put dotted line to the x-axis, then to the y-axis. Remember, always start with the x-axis. So in this example I gave is -4 and -3. You can see both are at the negative side. Okay? All right. So this is the way you read your coordinates. We spoke about the scale, the axis. All right. And remember how I'm going to read the scale of this axis. They all must be equally spaced out. Okay, bear that in mind. All right, equation. If we talk about equation, there must be certain line that is like that. For example, I'm going to draw something. Give an example here. Okay, for example, I have this. Okay. So this is y is equals to x minus 1. For example only. Okay. So this one is called an equation that is indicating the linear equation, linear function. All right. So if I were to look at this purple equation, right, I'm going to EQN stands for equation. Y is equals to x minus 1. Okay. Remember we say this is the variables. Do you realize something? There is a -1. We call them C, the value of C, which is also the y-intercept. So you see it intercept at y at -1, right? So intercept at y-axis, then at -1, right? So the curve, the graph cuts here at y-axis. That's what they meant. So you can see that all these will tell you the feature of it. Then you will say, how about this portion? Why they don't have a mx, right? Okay, now it's not that they don't have mx here. It's actually made up of 1x. So therefore, one is redundant, so we didn't write the one there, but we can say that this is gradient. Gradient will tell you the steepness of the slope, how steep it is. Okay, so that is the function of the. So with all these features, you will be able to find the variables later on. that is in the tutorial. Okay. So from here, we can proceed to the worksheet. All right. So far, okay. Can I have a quick check? I hope this very summarized notes can help you to understand better in order for to carry out today's lesson. So far, so good. Okay, let's start. All right. Now, write down the coordinates of the given points below, right? Because here is a graph. Now, let's take a look at P. Where is P? You have a P somewhere here, correct? So let's take a look. Who can tell me what is the P here? May I have Shanice? I have a P here. Can you help me with this coordinate? P itself. What is the X value? It is at
-3 and -2.
Oh, okay. Before I go on, I want to talk about the scale. Negative, you see, when you have this, I put it in red, then you will be able to see. 0 to here is 4. So to here is 2, right? So if this is on your graph paper itself, you can see that this is by 1 cm. Okay, but because my scale is in the soft copy, so I shrink the size. But the actual one, if you have it in your graph paper, this is always 1 cm. Okay, all right, this is always 1 cm from here to here. Okay, so from here is 0 to 2, half of this will be 2, so here will be 1, here will be 3. So here will be -1, here will be -2. Okay, so Shanice, this will be -2, comma, and what again just now you mentioned? Shanice? Okay, not around. Never mind, I'll help her with the 0. Marcus, can I have the next point? So this is -2, 0. Marcus, can you help me with Q? Where can I find Q? Okay, Q is here. Marcus? 4, 2. Okay, good, thank you. 4, 2. But wait, take a look here. 4, Q is 4. Here is -2. All right. Careful with the -2. Next one, can I have Hao Lun? May I have S? My X is here. My Y is here. Hao Lun, your turn.
4, 3.5.
4 and 3.5. Oh, that one is S. Sorry. 4 and 3.5. Thank you. All right. Then, how about you for R? Let's take a look at R. R is here.
-4,
Thank
comma
you.
6.
Yes, -4 and wait, -4 and 6. Wow, good. Okay, who is next now? Let's Kaden. Are you there, Kaden? You are next for T. Kaden? Kaden not there. Okay. Rachel, how about Rachel then? T for T, it will be Rachel. Rachel not ready. Okay, then can I have Erhan? Oh, 5 and 16. Wait, you are saying T. Let's take a look at T. Now, T will have 16 first because x-axis. All right. Okay. Oh, Rachel's mic not working. Okay, Rachel, if your mic is not working, never mind. Use the typing one, okay? At the chat is okay. All right, 16 and here will be 5. Okay. It's the other way round. Can I have Ilhan? Ilhan will be for you. Ilhan, are you there?
10